All right, we talking?
Sure. Hi.
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 We're gonna do something a little different this week, maybe.
Yeah.
Just a sort of a discussion back and forth,
Mhm.
maybe a little internal Q&A, sort of how we're doing in our early retirement,
Mm-hmm.
how it's going, kind of our early thoughts. We're still pretty new to this, so we don't feel confident telling you all of the early retirement things, but we can tell you our early retirement things,
Right.
kind of how it's going so far. So
We have thoughts.
I'm Gary.
And I'm Kara. Away we go traveling.
Hopefully, those among you who have already retired can give us some tips.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you who have not can maybe learn from some of the things we've already had. So
Yeah.
I guess to start off, so far, because you retired before I did,
It did by about 6 months.
right? What are your thoughts on retirement so far? Like, what do you like and what do you not like?
So I think one of the things we've talked about is the routine issue.
Yeah, no, I'm in full agreement. No, I'm in my head trying to determine the fact that I just don't have a routine.
Yeah. So I think for me, I had kind of high energy jobs for most of my career. So I'm going to give myself some time, and I'm going to go take a week or two and just hedonism, or what was it called?
I think you call it hedonism, which we stole from somebody else.
Yeah.
Thank you, Two Sides of Pie.
Two sides of fire.
Yeah.
But it was just be a sloth, be vacation, take a mental, emotional, professional decompression. And that really turned into 4 months. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I had plans I'm going to take a weekend off and I'm going to get the YouTube channel started. And I'm going to spend 6 hours in the gym every day.
You have high hopes.
Yeah. I had goals.
I was still working.
Mm.
She was, taking care of getting things out of the house and stuff downsized.
Yeah, we were
still
actively
working
downsizing.
on getting downsizing done. So that didn't bother me. Contrary to that, I'm now on month 3, 3.5 of retirement. But in that first month, it was literally getting our house, everything removed. So I didn't have, that first month was it blinked away for me.
Yeah, you went out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Yeah, it was just different, but I like that. I like being busy. But since we've been here, that has been my number one. And it's been very difficult for me is determining what my routine is. Obviously when you retire, you have unlimited time, and it's been very eye-opening for me how much time I don't have.
Yeah.
I will do things, and obviously we're working on this YouTube thing, and we've been doing a little bit of sightseeing and some stuff with friends, but it's amazing how at the end of the day, it's man, it's already 9 o'clock. Where did this day go? What did we end up doing? And there's just not that structure. So that's one of my struggles. I think for me, it's this is my hedonism period a little bit. I'm feeling my way through, having all of this time available to me, unlimited time. I can do whatever I want to, answer to no one. So that's been a challenge. And I would say for you who are looking to early retire, really keep that in mind. You're given an amazing gift of all of your time back. Have an idea of what you want to do with it. The sentiment we always talked about, retire to something, and we retired to a life of full-time travel, and now with this channel,
right?
We have some things we're kind of working on. But even with that, you're gonna have time on your hands. So just know that routine, we crave sort of that structure, and especially me, I've, again, just like Kara, I've had very structured career. So it's been very different. So that's something I'm working on. But you don't get me wrong, it's a problem I want. It's a problem I want to have. So we'll readdress that as we get farther along. But so what else? Do you have anything else that you?
Yeah. So I know, like I said, one of the things I thought I wanted to focus on working out. I love distance running. I'm no good at it, but I love it thoroughly. And I always said, well, if I just had more time, I would train 1,000 hours a day and do all the, this, run every day of the week, and I'll break my personal record and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that didn't happen. So I did, though. I know how I am and how I am motivated. So to get my kind of mind back in the track of routine, especially when it comes to exercise and physical health, I went ahead and signed up for another half marathon. And knowing that that's out on the calendar, that's a date in the future, and I put money on that, especially with the way we budget, to put an amount of money on that. I knew I had to train, and that's what got me motivated to really get back out there, even while we were packing up the house and minimizing and starting our travel. And then being in a new place for a while. Like, I literally trained and did the runs that I needed to do and just did that race this past Saturday. So that was something a way for me to manufacture routine for myself. And
it was good. And you did a great job. And I think you signed up for another one now in June. So you have a goal going forward. I have had, for me, the working out thing, I am baffled by how little I have worked out, even though I've managed to get some things in. With my my final job, I was actually working from home, and because I was working from home, I had some structure, but I also had a lunch hour. And on my lunch hour, that was when I went for a walk. I'm not a big lunch eater. I eat, and it's food for me is just kind of a way to get to the next event. It's just kind of in the way. I don't enjoy meals like a lot of people do. It are just kind of there.
You don't eat meals. You shove groceries down your neck.
I do. I also eat like an 8-year-old, so it's not like I'm missing that much. But yeah, so in my case, I would eat lunch very quickly, and then I'd go for a walk. So I had 45 minutes, 50 minutes of a walk every day that I could do, because it was time where I was away from my desk, and it was scheduled time, and it was very structured. It was great. We also lived in Florida, so the weather was always really good. Since we've been here, it's been a little more challenging with the weather. I've really gotten used to walking in warmer weather, so I don't enjoy walking when I'm cold. But now that it's warmed up a little bit, I've been a little better about that. I got out yesterday and played pickleball, although I messed up my knee since I'm evidently an old person now. So I have to continue to work on that. But that, for me, having all of this time, there really is no excuse to not get out, at least for a walk or to do something. So we'll have to keep working on that. But again, that's a struggle that I think I understand a lot of people have in these types of lifestyles. So we'll keep working on that. That's good. But we've also got, Molly, that we've been able to get out and walk her. So that's been good.
Molly's our dog.
Yeah, Molly's our dog. So
she's sleeping right now.
I think, I think in general, those have been some of our challenges, and I think we've both had them, and that's okay.
Yeah. So, well, this YouTube channel for me too, like personally, you talk about retiring into something that I spent my entire career doing IT and technology. So I really didn't want to just cold turkey that. That's kind of part of my personal identity. So that's what this is. This is what YouTube is. I taught myself how to video edit, taught myself the software, taught myself how to structure things. So that's been part of something that I retired into, keeping me in technology, keeping a creative outlet, keeping me learning. Yeah. I didn't want to stop.
I've learned how to watch you do it.
Yes, you're very good at that.
I'm excellent at it.
Wonderful.
Here, edit this.
This is a spectator sport.
It is a spectator sport. So I would say one of the other things that we're looking at with regards to retiring, at least from my perspective, I have a little bit of animosity just because of when I retired. I retired on January 11th. We had a little stock market blip over the last couple of months. That's been
it has been a
little bit of consternation. So it's not that our portfolio was set up that if it, we took a beating, it was, everything was going to fall apart. We're fine. Everything's going to be fine. The sky's not falling.
Right.
But it's just hard to see. You look at, if you've at all involved in the fire community, one of the big concerns is sequence of returns risk. And if you retire on 1 month and less than a month later, there's been a 10% market drop, that's not great odds. That's not what we're looking for. That is not what I'm trying to pull off here. So Unfortunately, we've clawed some of that back, and as we're doing this, it's currently May 1st. So it's we've gotten a decent week over last week. We've kind of brought back a lot of the losses we had. But as early retirees, and as you're looking at your portfolio, it's something you're concerned about. If in retrospect, maybe we would have stuck around for the whole, just one more year thing. But you make the decisions you do based on the information you have at the time. You make the best decision you can, and we did. It was right time for us.
Yes.
Run all the numbers. We know what we need to spend in retirement. We know what we have available to us. It's going to be fine. It's just hard to see that happen, at that time frame. So
yeah,
that's been another concern for me. Other than routine, is just kind of looking at our portfolio and seeing how it is. I haven't had to do any rebalancing. I kind of thought we would rebalance as soon as we retired, kind of figure out where we are, but we're set up pretty solidly 70-30 equities and bonds. A little bit of changes in there, but for the most part 70-30, and it's kind of where it's at. So we're prepared for that, and it'll be fine. But that's something that as far as things that I've concerned about in early retirement, if you're looking at doing this anytime soon, understand you never know what's going to happen with that. So make sure all of your financials are in place.
Well, that's the key. It's being prepared for it. You can't be psychic. You can't be a fortune teller.
Yeah.
If that were the case, all of us would be lotto winners.
Yeah.
Or, Biff with a sports almanac.
Yep. So
nobody has that. So you do, as you said, we did the best we could at the time with the information we had available. We went into this journey at the time that was right for us. But we didn't go blindly. We didn't rage quit. Gary did an amazing job of setting everything up for us that is so that we are prepared.
Yeah. So what are some things you do like? Other than it is really awesome. Don't get me wrong. There's absolutely zero changes, but what are some things in particular that you like? Thunder.
Thundered. Cut that out.
No, it's fun.
So honestly, I think just being able to decompress. I've spent my entire career since I graduated from my undergrad, I feel like a really high, sorry for the euphemisms, but a really serious ops tempo for all of the things that I've done. It is really good to just be able to sit and focus on myself and relax if I want to, and just have the flexibility in the day. I've never had flexibility like this.
Yeah.
I've always been report to the box, work the 9-10 hours, report back to the other box. I've spent so much more time outside. I've had so much more time to focus on the tech and the creative that I've always wanted to, kind of like passion project. Yeah.
It's been good. I think we both really enjoyed being, as we started here in St. Louis, I think we both enjoyed being able to see our families a lot more.
Oh yeah.
We've had, obviously being in Florida for the last 8 years, we just didn't get home as much as we would like to have. It just is what it is. Yeah. So it's been really good for all of the holidays and celebrations that have come up. We've been able to join in on those. So that's been really nice. We'll see how it is once we take off out of here and head on the road again. We'll kind of be back to where we were in Florida, not getting to see all that. But for now, we've got an opportunity, and I think we've done a really good job of doing that. So that's been really good. What else? Time with Molly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So as we mentioned earlier, our dog is almost 14, and she is a sweet little tiny girl. She crawls out here out of her nap. We'll put her on.
She likely will not.
She's napping. She's a professional napper. She's almost 14. These are precious years. And so it has been really wonderful to be able to spend time with her.
Yeah.
Maybe that sounds strange, but to be able to take her on a walk every single day or two in the middle of the day, take her in the car, take her to places, take her to breweries or, like restaurants that allow dogs on the patios.
Yep.
Just being able to have that flexibility and take her places has been really, really fun.
Yeah, rather than leaving her home all the time because we were working or, whatever. It's just been nice to get some time with her.
Yeah.
That we probably wouldn't have had previously. So that's been really good.
Very much.
So let's see, what are the other good things? Looks like, and it's not retirement necessarily, but sort of on the other side of the coin for the market not being fantastic right now. We did sell our house for us in the market we were in, probably the best possible time we could have. Maybe not the best possible time, because I think maybe had we sold a year before, maybe it would have been a little better. But we sold just before sort of Orlando started getting really soft in the housing market. So we did really well on the house, and that's been allowing us to. That's more or less what's funding our early retirement now. From being able to not dig into sort of our retirement accounts, is just living off of the house money we made over that time period. So that was really good. That was just dumb luck. That wasn't anything that we planned. Sometimes you get lucky in life. Our first few houses, we did not get lucky in any way. We either lost money or, quote unquote, broke even. And then after real estate fees, lost some money. So we haven't really done all that well with our houses. So the Orlando house was a nice change of pace for us for that. But that was good. So that was been a really good thing in retirement. I still reflect on that was been really good for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't have anything that I quote dislike or really, really like. I'm still too new to it to sort of determine. But I really do enjoy the amount of free time. And it's just a matter of forcing myself to be an adult, say, okay, you don't just get to hang out and do nothing. You got to have things that you structure it with that I've got to work on. And I think that'll come with time and experience. So I think the other thing that we're struggling with a little bit, and I think I can speak for both of us, you can kind of chime in. We're getting used to the smaller accommodations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went from a 5-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom apartment to this 1 bed, 1 bath.
It's like a magic trick.
And everything's smaller because we had, we spent both of us, I don't know, we had careers and lives and the things that everybody gets. You collect nice things like nice mattress, a nice bed, a nice blender, whatever. None of that. What we're traveling with fits in an SUV. And
you get what you get when you do these accommodations. You do it based on pictures and what you can. And this has been really good. I really like this place. The only thing we're complaining about so far is the couch. It's kind of, it's okay, but it's not at all good if you're trying to, sit and watch a whole movie or something. It's one of those, it looks nicer than it is to sit on.
Yeah, just small things though.
We're just getting used to it. And I think that goes back to, though, if you're going to do early retirement, make sure the person you're early retiring with is somebody you're remarkably compatible with, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with them. A lot of time with them.
We spend a lot of time together.
We do. We spend a lot of time together, and we do it in a much smaller space. Hey, speaking of Molly, a much smaller space than we're used to. So you're going to be in close quarters. You're going to be doing things together that maybe you're like, hey, before we each had our own bathroom and we each had our own space to put our clothes. None of that now. There's a lot of sharing going on, and because of that, you want to make sure that you're okay with that. Take an extended trip with that person. Know that you're going to be okay. Hi, Molly. I guess she did wake up from her nap. So I think that's most of it right now.
Well, I want to kind of chime in on what you were saying about getting used to something smaller and getting used to. This is about being flexible. And there's a lot of mindset of bring your patience and just know that's half the fun of this. It's why we did this. Honestly, getting used to a new place, and a new, like a place is a city, a place is a neighborhood, a new place is as a home, as temporary quarters, keeps you sharp. You have to use your brain. You have to be able to be flexible in a new environment. Just like international travel, when we do that, you have to be flexible and you have to be willing to be uncomfortable in a situation.
Yeah, that's right.
I think a lot of people aren't comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's what kind of bricks you in and makes you scared and you never leave your living room. We don't want that.
No, and I think it's important as we get older to challenge ourselves. And even if it's simple things as challenging as where is our grocery store, what is our new routine? I've complained about having a routine, but that's a mental challenge that I have to overcome. And it now keeps me thinking rather than just, okay, I'm gonna wake up in my same bed in Orlando that I've done the last 8 years. Had we done that, had we retired and stayed, I think it might have been worse. I think our routines would have been very stagnant. And I'm happy that we're doing this, and I'm happy that it is a bit of a challenge, and where we're going to be going and parking and doing, and we're living in a new place and somebody else's stuff, and we don't know where everything in the kitchen is. So you're right. That's been really good.
Like that mental acuity or whatever.
Like mental stimulation.
Mental stimulation, right. It keeps you active. It keeps you thinking. Keeps you, I don't know, just sharper. I feel like it keeps you, because even when we do travel before we early retired, for example, if we went on a cruise, we would not just stay on the ship. And maybe that we didn't do this 20 years ago, but the last several years when we knew we wanted to go travel full time, we didn't just stay on the ship or look off and say, oh, there's the closest bar, let's just stop right there. We would have kind of higher brain ideas of what do groceries cost in the Bahamas or whatever. So we would just plan a route, look at the map, and we'd go walk and just go see the thing. What is it like to be here in town?
Apple Maps walking directions.
Yeah, you made
a video about that.
Yeah.
Nobody watched it, but go back and see it. It's I still use Apple Maps for obviously if you're an iPhone user, but yeah.
And go back and watch. It was in Gary's his own video, which is about travel apps. But the best thing I think about the Apple Maps for walking is it'll tell you, if you have an Apple Watch, it'll link to it and say right now, like 20 feet or 100 feet or whatever, make a left, make a right, go straight. Here's the street name. Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll do that quite a bit, but I think that has prepared us pretty well for new experiences.
Because you have to be flexible. You have to bring patience.
Flexibility is a big key.
Yeah, flexibility, and I think it makes you, personally, I feel like I'm a better citizen of the planet. I mean, not to sound cliche, but our travel and doing this makes me more comfortable in unique scenarios and in life. It's easier to go and do something without being just scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys got to go out and try things.
So overall, I mean, we're only a few months into this full-time travel thing.
Yeah.
And I would say personally, for me, the pros way outweigh the cons.
100%.
This is fun.
Yep.
We're having so much fun. It's exciting for me to be able to spend all of the time that we have to learn things, plan things, go places. I mean, maybe in a year we'll have a different perspective, but right now, I like this.
So far, so good, yeah. So if you're thinking about trying to do early retirement, it's certainly worth it. I think, we did all the planning and kind of looked at it, not sure what we would think about it, but certainly love it so far. It's been really great. So
yeah.
All right, well, we just wanted to kind of have a discussion this week about kind of how we're feeling and what we've been thinking about.
We'll do these occasionally just to kind of let you know where our mindset is. And
yeah, if you got questions, if you want to know what we're thinking about for anything particular, you got a particular topic you want to sort of discuss. We are reasonably accomplished world travelers. We've been a lot of places. We've done a lot of things. Both IT professionals. There'll be some cybersecurity stuff coming at some point. Well, some other things. So if you got things you're interested in, let us know. We'll try to make a video about that. But for right now, this was just sort of our thoughts, where we are in our heads over the last week or so, and as we sort of reflect on our first couple of months doing this. Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you have not. We'd appreciate it. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
All right.